Hi, everyone. I'm Jen, and this is my show, Talk About It Tuesday. I don't talk about it on Mondays or Sundays. I talk about it on Tuesdays. Can you believe our YouTube commercial has reached 100,000 views? In this episode, we'll chat with the director who made that all happen. Even though it's been pretty much freezing cold outside across the entire country, we're keeping it nice and hot in the yoga room here in Northern Virginia. I've got some studio updates to help you stay motivated to practice as we begin to move into the spring. We've been asked recently, when will COVID restrictions on group classes be lifted? This is a great question. The answer is when the Virginia governor says so. The current class size is limited to 10 until February 28th, at which point we will receive more information on our next steps, which could be an extension of the current restrictions. There could be more restrictions, or they could ease up on the restrictions. We can expect to know more towards the end of the month. Curious about what students are saying about our safety measures in studio? Click the link in the description above or below to see our most recent reviews. Guess who's back? Teacher Manolo. Yay! He's so excited to be back on the podium, and his enthusiasm makes the class feel new again. Because let's face it, this yoga doesn't change. But when a new instructor delivers the class, I remember that every class is new. I know you get bored with me teaching all the classes. Sometimes I take my own class and I bore myself. And Michael's mean. Manolo's sweet voice reminds me that every class is different, and the students need a variety of voices saying the same information. Because let's face it, the same information coming from a different teacher, a different perspective, is different, and it gives you a chance to hear things differently. Everyone knows that frequent practice is key, not only to improving yoga postures, but also your total quality of life. That's why this March, we're motivating our students to practice 4 times a week for 4 weeks in our hashtag 4in4 challenge. To help our students meet their goals, we're teaming up with FitGrid, an online platform that connects fitness enthusiasts across the country to track their progress and motivate each other to meet their goals. Stay tuned for more information on how to sign up starting next week. As a business owner, Army veteran, and mother of 5, I've had to learn to be efficient in all areas of my life. To help make your life easier, I'm going to share with you some of the things I've learned in a segment I call Jen's Tips. Bikram yoga is hot yoga, but not all hot yoga is Bikram yoga. At the Bikram Yoga Alliance, we currently have 57 in-studio, authentic 90-minute Bikram yoga classes per week. However, if you happen to live far away and you want to find an authentic studio near you, search around and ask the studio owner if the instructors have been certified by Bikram Chaudhry himself. Are you looking for a way to improve your yoga practice? Here's 3 tips that anyone can try, regardless of your skill level. 1, keep your expectations about class somewhere in the middle. Make sure that when you walk into class, you're enthusiastic but realistic. This is the best class. This is the worst class. Those are unrealistic expectations. You got to walk in and be excited about the body that brought you there today. 2, listen to the corrections a teacher gives another student, and then check to see if you need to make the same correction yourself. If you're lucky enough to get a teacher to tell you to do something, that's wonderful. But when the teacher's talking to another student and they give them a specific correction, it's a great time to check in and see if that's something you can do too. 3, wear an outfit that makes you feel cute. You got to look in the mirror and you got to like yourself, and then you got to love yourself. And that starts with what you're wearing, how you do your hair, how you smile. You got to treat yourself right. I can't wait to meet that person. Hey, Michael.
Oh, hi, Jen.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I love that mug. That's a vintage label.
You bought this for me.
I remember.
And
What's
you
it say on the
wrote
back?
the year that I went to teacher training.
That's right.
To Bikram yoga teacher training.
It's not my birthday, but I'm drinking out of my happy birthday mug.
That's okay. It can be your birthday every day. You should live life like it's your birthday every day.
Well, I have 5 kids, so I could pick at any point. I could celebrate birthdays.
There's a birthday all throughout the year.
Yeah, on Wednesday, my second oldest turns 21.
Oh, he's gonna go out drinking.
He's coming home to have a drink with his mama.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
I think it's going to be fun.
Oh, your family's great. I love your family.
Yeah, they're fun. The kids, they're fun.
Yeah, yeah, they're fun.
It's a lot of work.
You manage a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And you run the studios too.
I have a lot of support. I really do. I have a lot of support.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to learn how to delegate.
That's true. That's something that I've learned as a manager
Hmm.
of the locations. I used to manage up in New York City for Bikram Yoga NYC. Now it's called Bodhi
Right.
NYC. And I learned some skills there. And then I moved down here to be with you. And well, I was with Jim first, the previous owner of
The
this
previous
location.
owner.
And then you came along, you bought the studios, and you gave them a woman's touch. So now we have this beautiful board up here
I
because of a
love it.
woman's touch. You and Amy. I mean, I didn't mean to highlight this word and say woman's touch at the same time.
Hijacked.
Sorry about it.
Hey,
No,
we
but
need both energies.
this is my word. You're never too cocky, because I can get a little bit cocky. I need to be put in my place sometimes to start from scratch again. This is my word. I'm getting over myself, and I'm not going to be so cocky this week.
You were great in class today. I mean, you
Thank
had
you.
things to be cocky about.
Well, I definitely felt like today was a great practice.
Yeah,
I felt
you had-
supported by you. I felt strong in the postures. I feel like I'm making progress. And I actually got really, really sweaty. I was sweating a lot. It was
Oh,
great.
that's awesome. Yeah, sweating. That means you're working hard and the heat is working. So two
This
things
shirt
working together.
is too dark.
It is kind of dark. You're disappearing a little.
Yeah, like let me highlight this real quick. Let me show.
Okay.
Let me see here. Yeah, well, see, I guess that's a little bit better, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I see the light better.
Kind of. I don't know. I should have worn something brighter.
I mean, this is something we work through all the time, isn't it,
I
Michael?
know. It's part of
Yeah.
our production. Yeah.
What
Look at your
looks
top.
good?
You got this
Yeah.
cute purple top today.
But it does make me look kind of, I mean,
Just adjust the light. Turn the light down a little bit.
okay. Is it back here?
Yeah, it's on the bottom there. It's on the bottom. Oh, you got it.
I did?
No, I thought you touched it.
I thought I did too, but then I kind of
It's a knob. It's a turny knob.
I know. It's all like, it's like has traction on it. It's fine. I'm just
view counts going
I give
down.
Up. I give up. You no, come back. Come back.
Yeah,
Casper
do something
the
fun.
Friendly Ghost did not mean to scare
Cocky.
you away. That's what I was trying to say. I sometimes I get praised for handling so much, but it's because I think I'm pretty good at delegating and I know how to ask for help, which is probably one of the hardest things it has taken for me to develop, to figure out how to ask for help, receive help, and then be able to give constructive feedback to the person who helps me so that they continue to help me.
Yeah, for sure.
So they don't leave me. And sometimes we can be a little.
I'm kind of mean to you sometimes. I'm kind of
like
Jen.
Back and forth.
Wait, the top you were wearing earlier, you look like a nurse.
Yeah, you said I looked awful. So I changed.
Wait, we need to get a photo of that and show people.
We will. Let's do that. We'll be like, yeah, there I am. And there's nothing wrong with being a nurse. And there's nothing wrong with looking like a nurse. But our messaging here is not medicinal.
You looked very clinical today. You had your hair pulled back. Turn to the side. Show your cute ponytail off. Let me see. Yes, you had the ponytail on, and then you had the scrub-looking jumper on, and I was like, "Oh wait, I don't know if that's going to work today."
Have you ever seen the movie Mean Girls?
Of course, I have.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. So I was, fun side note: the woman who wrote that, we grew
Tina
up
Fey?
in the same neighborhood. Yeah,
you and Tina Fey, same neighborhood.
We grew up in the same
the
neighborhood.
street she grew up on.
I don't know what street she grew up on. Because I wasn't friends with her, but I knew. I knew who she was.
Are you both the same age?
She's a couple of years older than I am, and so she wrote that story, Mean Girls. And
were you one of the mean girls?
Did
she write it about you? Was she a secret admirer from
No.
afar?
In high school, I was a nerd and a half.
I was so shy in high school. I was like, because I was gay and insecure, and I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I hid. I was like a wallflower the whole time.
Wow.
I just tried to blend in as much as I could. But now, I'm more confident as a 37, 38-year-old man, almost 38 this year. It's great. I'm coming into myself more and more and more. I'm not afraid to write a word like this.
I mean, you're one of my favorite people to be around.
We do
So
have fun together, Jen.
we do.
We do
We
have
definitely
fun.
do. So Tina Fey's character says that you can only wear a ponytail once a week. She tells the girl, you know, like if you want to be popular, you can
Yeah.
only wear a ponytail once a week.
You know, I showed that movie to my mom, and
Yeah.
we were having a great time. And it was like a couple years ago when I showed her. And the part when someone gets hit by the vehicle, she cracked up laughing. She busted out laughing in a way I'd never heard her laugh before. She loved that moment.
When the bus
So
hits her.
yeah. So that's how I knew my mom was kind of evil. I was like, oh, mom. We call we call my mom Maleficent. Yes.
Even Maleficent has a happy side to her life too. She's not all awful.
No.
But
Well, they spun that around with the Angelina Jolie movie.
they did. They
Yeah.
did. And
Yeah.
the story, you know, the original story, her invitation went missing. So she got
Yeah,
mad.
so she wreaks havoc on the
Yeah,
whole
she got mad.
kingdom and burns it to the ground and steals a baby and then curses the baby. Give me a break.
Hell hath no fury.
Because she didn't get invited to a ceremony,
My
whatever it was, the
invitation got
wedding.
lost. Bitch. But yeah, but gosh, we've watched TV so differently over the years.
We have. Now we're on
How we've
YouTube now.
accessed. Now we're on YouTube. I know
Everything's
we're
on
on YouTube.
YouTube.
We have some
Huh?
big news about YouTube.
About our YouTube,
Yeah, we
our
do.
fun
About our YouTube
commercial.
channel.
Yes.
Our fun commercial.
We reached 100,000 views on our fun commercial.
I can't believe it.
We were not expecting that. It just kept ticking up, and here we are. We have a lot of subscribers now. We've got 100,000 views. So wow, Jen, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was, you know, it was my idea to come to you with that, right?
It was totally your idea.
But you're the person, as a leader, you're always the person that jumps in head first. You know, there's been a few times over the years that I've presented an idea to you about something, and you know, you'll have your reservations. You'll be like, well, what's the risk? What's the reward here?
No. What did I used to be like? That's not right. I used to be like, no.
Well, not
Never?
all the time. Not with everything. Not with everything. No, there were some things that you were very, you know, fiscally responsible about, I'll say. But most ideas that I've presented to you over the years, you've jumped in head first. And as a leader, I just have to congratulate you on that, because you're so vulnerable all the time. You're strong in your systems and your structures and your belief about how a business should be run. But people don't really know this vulnerable, willing side to try something new. And the YouTube video was that. And so look at it, Jen, we've got 100,000 views on that video.
That's amazing.
And it's thanks to you, thanks to the staff.
Yes.
The staff jumped in headfirst, just as vulnerable as you've been, as I've been. The staff really, you know, just trusted you and I to follow through with this process, and yeah, just big congratulations. So celebration is in order.
I know, it's amazing.
Yes, yes.
Now we're gonna have people coming to our channel, and we can't just have one. We can't just have one thing that's exciting on it.
That's the thing. We have to do the next thing. It doesn't have to top it. It doesn't have to be. It can be something different, right? And it might. The next one might not get 100,000 views, but would you call this like a good kind of virus? Would you say that this video went viral?
This video used the word virus in the right way. It went viral. Now we got to use that momentum.
Yeah.
And a combination of the momentum and the skills that we have been developing over the last several months since
COVID
since the
hit.
pandemic.
Can you talk a little bit about COVID, about how that changed how we do things at the Alliance, as far as the production equipment that we've had to purchase? I mean, people don't see what's going on behind the scenes right now.
We changed our studios. I mean, on a dime, basically. We changed everything. We knew that we were going to be closed, and it felt indefinite, even though we all had hope that it wouldn't be indefinite. And yeah, the governor did his best to keep everybody posted. But as April turned into May, we realized that the production stuff wasn't going away. that people were going to want to join us virtually. And so we bought another computer, and we did several different attachments to make sure, we became like audio visual savants, basically. We learned how to plug everything into the right places and what works and what doesn't work.
The little
And
adapters, like
the little
who would have
adapters.
thought that the little adapters, the amount of those we would have to buy to make sure that something could translate both sound and like speakers and a microphone, like that kind of thing. Like, we're not technical people. I'm sure if there's anybody technical out there, you're watching and going, yeah, duh, you have to. But
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
know,
know
they're
that. As a
brilliant.
yoga studio, as a small business, we didn't know that stuff.
And up to that point, I would say up to February of 2020, I was really getting a lot of affirmation that shifting my business was not what I wanted to do. I was going to do this kind of yoga. This is the business that I was in. I was going to do my best to be good at it and make it accessible to as many people as possible. I opened a second location. It was doing super well compared to how it had been doing the year before. We were growing. It was so great. And then I had to change my mind that Bikram yoga has to be delivered in a new way.
We would not have the classes we have now,
No.
the technical interfaces, the virtual stuff. We wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't, unfortunately, for the pandemic. But in a way, it's pushed us.
It has
to be better than what we were.
It helped me change my mind and not be so rigid. I do feel like, even though I had all of the affirmation that I needed, that I don't need to change Bikram yoga and it was working, this sign from the universe came to me and said, you better not be so rigid, because people still need this yoga, and you've got to figure out the formats that you can get it out there.
Yeah.
And the virtual format's growing and growing. People
Yeah.
are joining us virtually. And then it led to this. It led to conversations online here in Facebook and YouTube with great people.
Yeah. Yeah. People you wouldn't have been in touch with unless something like this happened. Yeah.
Well, I'm busier now than I've ever been, and somehow I'm managing to make more time for the important people. I've never been this busy before in my life. And I remember being at home when the kids were all small. I had 5 under 7 or 7 and under. And I remember thinking, I'll never get this. I'll never be this busy again. And that wasn't true. I've gotten nothing but busier. And last year, when the studios were doing well and the second location was starting to really grow, I was thinking, there's going to be some space for me to calm down. Boom, I got busier.
More skills, more skill sets being pushed. The next frontier. Here we are. I think we're doing a pretty good job.
But I feel closer to my community than ever.
It's true. That's why that we feel very connected to the community more than we did actually before.
I do. I definitely feel closer to my community than ever. Yeah. And I had relied on the fact that Bikram yoga is so ubiquitously accessible that's the connection. Well, the connection is Bikram yoga. We all know Bikram yoga. We all know Bikram, whether you have an opinion about him or not, whether you have a strong opinion about him or not, he connects us. And then quarantine hit, and the only people that I really wanted to be connected to were my immediate family and my students and my teachers.
Yeah.
The ones that stayed with me. And those connections have gotten so strong. We've been able to develop these strong relationships where we talk to each other and we know what we're saying. So we're not so sensitive.
Well, we lost 70% of our memberships.
We did.
Year over year. We lost a huge...
And
employees. We lost, was it about that same percentage of employees?
We have, half.
Half.
We have 11 and we had a little bit over 20.
As a W-2 employees.
Yes, as W-2 employees.
And it was things were working for the business. Yes, it was, you were able to pay the government funding part of that side, the taxes that you pay as a W-2 employer.
Oh, yes.
We were able to support that as a small business.
We were having a lot of success.
Yeah.
Actually, we were.
Yeah.
But I didn't know all of my teachers as well as I know the teachers who've stayed with me. And that's a two-way street. So I've been available, and I have found a rhythm of communicating with them that we know each other and we trust each other, so that when I say something, they don't feel so sensitive. They feel ready to enact what it is that I'm talking about, or question me.
As teachers, we do that, especially in the yoga world, because I think we're in the yoga world, it's mostly an independent contractor business where you
It
hire
is.
somebody as a 1099, and technically 1099s, you just go and do kind of one thing for the business, like one
Yep.
kind of scripted job.
Fix a
Um,
toilet, teach
Fix the
teach
toilet,
a yoga
teach a
class.
yoga class, and not both at the same time usually, right?
Exactly.
You're not a plumber and
One
a yoga
specific thing.
teacher as a 1099. I mean, you could be if it's written into the kind of work you do, but studios would hire 1099 teachers and have them do everything,
Right.
because it's hard. And running a small business and moving from 1099 to W-2 structure, that's a hard step, and it's a risk, and it's a gamble.
It is.
So I don't, I'm not faulting other studios for doing, what they do to get by, but the government's starting to crack down, like in California, the government decided for Uber. I forget what happened with Uber. Did they
I don't know
decide
what's
on
happening
that?
with Uber, but I know that all yoga studios, they're the people that teach for them have to be employees in the state of
So in
California.
California changed. Yeah. Okay,
California
gotcha.
did
I'll have
change.
to look that
So,
up. I might be wrong about Uber, but I'll have to
well,
figure
I
that
know that Uber was in litigation. They may have
out.
settled, but I'm not sure anything was definitive.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
if you're inside a yoga studio and you're handling the register and you're teaching a yoga class and you're folding a towel and you're doing some laundry, you are beyond the scope of a 1099 contract. And that is just simply true. If you follow the guidelines for what the federal standards
From the
are
IRS, or was it
from
the
the
IRS?
IRS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
will say though, there's a different relationship between yoga studio owners and teachers, where a studio owner needs people to work for them and can't necessarily invest in someone as an employee because they haven't done the research, and the teacher needs a place to practice, so they support the studio owner beyond the scope of a 1099 because that's their studio, that's like a church, that's their home. At some point though, they will start to have hard feelings because at the end of the year their federal taxes weren't paid and they've never paid into Social Security, and they have no connection to that tax base that they're required to pay, that they're
Mhm.
required to be a part of. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we do that here at the Alliance.
We do. We do that.
But I didn't know, and the 1099 situation too makes it tricky when you want to give feedback to teachers. Most people say they're open to feedback because that's the right vernacular. I'm open to feedback, but as soon as someone gives you
Oh, that's
hard
why we started
feedback,
talking about this. Yeah,
yeah,
I meant to say, like, I wanted to talk about that, is
yeah, and that's why I
the
brought it back
feedback
up.
part. We get defensive.
We do.
We get defensive when somebody comes up to us and says, "You should do this way," or "I noticed you did this. Why did you do that?" Or "Why did
Mhm.
you say that in that
Yeah.
way to that student in particular?" And it's hard. Even however experienced you are, it's hard to receive feedback sometimes, especially from maybe a new employer or someone you haven't spent years with that you don't know.
Uh-huh.
So it's just tricky. But that connection that you have with your current teachers, that back and forth feedback has gotten stronger.
That happened because of COVID.
Right.
That happened because of the studio being
You said you weren't going to say
shut
COVID.
down.
You were going to say the
I did.
pandemic.
I said COVID is dead. It's a
Uh,
dead. I was going to say pandemic. That happened because of the pandemic. No more C word.
oh, okay, okay. No more c
Oh,
words.
you can say that C word. I'd even be open to the other C word, but I don't think that
Oh,
other people would. I'm not saying it. I just said I was open to it. Feedback requires a relationship. It requires a basis of trust.
it's true.
And we don't necessarily have that in the Bikram community, the Bikram world, the way we wish we did.
Mhm.
So we have a dialogue, we follow this dialogue. It's not just as simple as say the dialogue. It's not just as simple as say don't say the dialogue. It's a nuanced combination of things that you need to spend day after day honing on to get better at. And you've got to have people that you trust that can come out and say, what did you say? Why did you say this to that student? I heard you say this. I didn't understand it. Can you explain it to me? That's a great way to start with somebody if you don't really know them. Once you know them, you can come out and be like, don't say that word. That word has no place. It's abrasive, but it's also, we know each other and that word is weird. Don't say it.
Yeah.
And or sometimes people say certain words too much. So I have no problem with every single word in the English language being used as long as it's not vulgar. But at some point you come out and say, you're saying engage like every posture. Why are you saying engage every posture?
Oh,
So
Jen, I don't envy your job.
nobody does. That's why so few people do it.
This has been fun, Jennifer. This has been lots of fun.
That's right. Let's be the envy of the world on YouTube.